Welcome. This is David Boles, Human Meme. Today's topic, how to read a dream. The human ability to close your eyes and to sink into a different realm is one of the pure delights of living a human life. If you dream in color, and if you dream with stories, and if you are able to live in other worlds while dreaming, then you truly have an escape from the everyday torture of prescient living. And you may escape into the realm of your own imagined dreamscape. But at what peril do we dream? Now, if you don't dream in color, and if you cannot remember your dreams, then this particular Human Meme podcast may not be of interest to you. Because today, we're going to work together to work through and find ways to read, interpret, understand, and act upon our dreamscapes by asking questions and sharing inquiries. There is one particular parallel dreamscape that visits me. I cannot choose to go there on my own when I close my eyes. And that place, that second reality, interrupts my dreams and presents itself for evaluation. And I am often taken there for visits when I close my eyes and float. When I arrive on site, I feel as if I already know the area of this parallel dreamscape. But I don't really know it. My navigation is a little bit off. It's sort of like an ongoing feeling of déjà vu. Been there, done that, but haven't yet done that. Or have I? And in this dreamscape analysis, the names of places are sort of the same, and I can remember many details. But these places are dislocated from each other, and the architecture and the city layout is not something that I always recognize. But often, the landscape of that particular dreamscape always stays the same. If I pay attention mid-dream, then I can begin to lay out a navigational scheme, even though I'm aware I'm dreaming in my dream, and that the end is soon to arrive of this dreamland. And in the dream, I am always the only person in town. It's an empty city, but very alive. It's thriving. But I never meet anyone else. And as I stroll the streets of this city, I recognize Columbia University over there in a sort of a pit, surrounded by a moat. And the whole university is just one all-white building, Acropolis-looking, all marble, and totally inaccessible. Columbia University in the city of New York, although I don't think we're in New York, in the dreamscape, is in the center of town, in a lower-than-sea-level pit. But I never go there to visit. I circle the campus like a whirlwind of water falling down a drain. But I never actually cross the moat to go inside. And so I look at Columbia University, recognize it, and I keep walking. There are no cars or other transportation in this parallel universe. I'm always on foot, always feeling a bit confused and out of it. But it's always sunny, bright sun. And then I happen upon what I call NYU, New York University. And it's always in a different place, and I go inside that building, and I get caught up in a winding black bricked staircase of caverns and tunnels and off-site campuses and empty offices that I enter with the lights burning and there's no one behind the desks. I'm always spinning and rerouting and tumbling down some set of stairs at this NYU that I've never seen before. And then I push open a door and find myself outside of the winding NYU maze, and I'm on a side street. A side street with sun on both sides of the street. And 2-story buildings peek above me. They look like they were built in the 1800s. And there is dust along the dirt roads and bits of wire and brush blowing in the wind. I'm not in a western town, but I'm in an old town. A town that lives in the architecture of the mid-1800s. But the actual year in this dreamscape feels like 1921 or so. And I remember I am there looking for the theater. All the storefronts are closed. There is only the sound of the wind in my ears. And I'm walking up and down this clay dirt plat that serves as the main street of the town. And I feel as though I'm looking for someone. I'm seeking the proscenium stage. I can't find it. Every door I try to open is locked. And I look around me and I know all the places. I'm not lost. I'm at peace. I feel at home. But I don't recognize these streets, landings, or the navigational spokes of the city. And it feels all familiar, but looks entirely foreign. But I am not frightened. Am I looking for someone or searching for something? Why am I here? And then I see all my old neighborhoods on the horizon surrounding me in the distance, but I have no idea how to get there to visit. And the only time in this dreamscape that I get frustrated and amazed by this lucid dreaming is when I am confronted with technology that, again, I do not recognize, but somehow innately know how to use. I am there with machines that work and machines that can do amazing things. And I willfully try to slow down this dreamscape timeline, and I try to realign the dream with my own reality and a new intention. How does this technology work? And in this dream state, I realize that if I can stop and take apart a machine or look inside a gearbox, I might just learn the secret of this new future around me and take it back home with me. My parallel experience inside a rotating circle. And sometimes I am successful in actually stopping and taking apart this thing that fascinates me. And one particular fascination was a machine, if you can call it that. It was actually a glowing green button floating in front of me that allowed instant time travel. Touch it and move. Think it and go there. And as I was disassembling this glowing device, I kept thinking, I understand how this works now, and it's just so beautiful and so simple. And as I am realizing that, panic is slowly creeping in. As I realize I am parallel dreaming and that my current lucidity is not going to last in this dreamscape, And I know I will somehow have to take notes in the dream world with pencil and paper, if I could find pencil or paper, or an audio recording machine, if I could find an audio recording machine. Or I could just remember it all. And I tell myself in the real time of that dream landscape that this is all so simple and obvious that I really don't need to take notes or rely on memory. I'll just know it because this experience is now a part of me. And I will be able to reassemble this time travel machine, glowing green button, back in my own time when I wake up. If I could just force myself to wake up right now so I could take some real-time contemporaneous notes about the other side of the dream. And then everything begins to go gray and hazy, and I find myself swirling and lost again in the NYU brick staircase. I am awake. I am awake, and yet I remember the dream, but not the function of the time travel device, that glowing green thing that was beyond the obvious end. And what I so clearly understood there 1 second ago is lost in translation into real time, into the here. And I am exhausted and disappointed again, and lost again. And I want to try to immediately force myself back to sleep again, so that I may re-enter that dreamscape again, and take home the secrets of that other world again, that odd world again. And as I slowly wake and realize I can't go back there, not now, probably not ever again in the same instant wisdom and moment of knowledge of the green glowing globe. And I struggle throughout the rest of my waking day in this world to diagram that thing, that device that was so clear that I touched and used and interacted with. It was clean and easy to operate over there, only on the dreamscape side. And yet I am comforted in my disappointment, because I know there is something here inside me that knows so much more than I think I know. And I know that learning has actually come through to me from that other world, somehow, even though I don't really understand it. But it has come through, nonetheless, where the future mixes with the past. And some of my memories are real, and all of my experiences are false. And I begin to wonder at the power of the active dream, and of what it means to be human and sane, and of this world, and not without it. And I know there is knowledge inside my mind that is active and susceptible to interpretation and penetration. If I only knew the access code, the password, if you will, the secret of unlocking what I once already knew and mastered in a past life, a dream life. And then I feel the wash of disappointment that is woe unto me, as I struggle to put back the pieces of a puzzle that are now without vision or solution. And the world over there is realer to me than the world from which I'm speaking to you now. And saying that out loud to you now sounds sad and stricken with melancholia. And yet, I still seek relief, and I ask for absolution from this life, preferring that dreamscape reality over there in the ether, where I am alone and alive and in the dream world, in a place where I am always learning and taking apart the very basic instincts of what makes up a memory. What is the particles of an experience? How do we work atonement of enlightenment? And I humanly fail. All I am able to return with here is in encrusted hand, back into this world. I hang on to a bag of dusty bones and brittle facts that no longer make sense in context. I time travel, but instead of gaining time, I realize I have only been losing life. Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.